Turned up. Let's go.
What is up, you guys? I'm Charmx. Today I'm going to be reacting to 5 disturbingly shocking discoveries on Google Maps, Earth, and Street View by Top 5s. Now, I love Top 5s, and Top 5's disturbing and creepy videos are freaking awesome, so hopefully this will be quite awesome. And with that being said, the original link's in the description. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Top 5s without any further ado. Let's begin.
The world is a vast and beautiful place, and most people are not fortunate enough to be able to explore it. But thanks to Google Maps and Street View, you can now conduct your own virtual world tour for free.
Yeah, that's true, that you can actually go to most places in the world without having to pay money now, because you can just go on Google Street View and look at some of these things that you wouldn't be able to see or do otherwise, and I think that's freaking awesome.
And view and explore over 65 countries, spanning 7 continents, all from the comfort of your own home.
That's crazy.
However, every now and then, something turns up that is truly shocking or creepy for the viewer.
Why is that blurred?
And here we look at 5 occasions when Google Maps or Street View has thrown up something completely unexpected. The Village of Dead Dolls. If you look on Google Maps for a tiny village called Nagoro, located in the valleys of Shikoku, Japan, you'll get a shock.
Chicago, Japan? Japan has their own Chicago? Oh, that's cool.
Because as you follow the road through the village, all is not what it seems. As you may have noticed, the village is populated not by people, but dolls. They are all the work of Mrs. Ayano, who returned to her childhood village after many years away, and discovered that most of the residents that she formerly knew had either died or left. Feeling lonely, she first made a doll that resembled her deceased father. This was followed by recreations of other members of her family, which progressed to former residents of the village, all in the form of life-size dolls.
See, that's weird, but it's also kind of sad at the same time. It really is, because I guess there's, you know, the people aren't there anymore, and you're kind of lonely, so you create these people. If you think of it, it's actually more sad than creepy.
There are around 350 dolls scattered around the village today,
300!
each representing a dead or former resident. Even the school has a few dolls sat at desks, waiting for classes to begin. Ayano has strategically placed the dolls of the people she once knew in the places she remembers they worked or frequented.
You think that would boost tourism in that place, right?
According to the story, it's claimed by locals that new dolls appear overnight, although no one has ever seen Ayano putting them in their positions.
Oh, that's
and
weird.
An even creepier tale is that she creates dolls of people who are still alive in preparation for when they die.
Oh, that's even, okay, that now, we just moved on from, you know, that sad, okay, this is freaking weird, get out of that town. That's creepy.
Ariel Castro's home. 2207 Seymour Avenue in Cleveland, Ohio, probably doesn't mean much to most of you. And if you search on Google Maps, it's represented by an ominous blur. But behind the blur lies the home of former bus driver and father of 4, Ariel Castro, who held 3 girls captive for over 10 years and subjected them to an unimaginable and inhumane existence inside the property during the time this Google Street View was taken. The horror started in August 2002.
Oh, I think I remember hearing of this on the news back a few years ago.
When 21-year-old Michelle Knight accepted a lift from a man she vaguely recognized as the father of a girl she knew. It was a decision she would regret for the next 11 years. Michelle was taken to Castro's home.
What do you mean 11 years? I mean, I think she would regret that for the rest of her life. I think she got kidnapped, right? Like, I'm pretty sure after she got escaped, it's not like, oh, she all of a sudden doesn't regret it, right? She's still gonna regret it.
In Seymour Avenue, where she was tied up and left in an upstairs room, where she remained for the next 11 years. Less than a year after Michelle's kidnap, on April the 21st, 2003, Castro picked up another girl. She was 16-year-old Amanda Berry, who accepted a lift from Castro after she had finished her shift at Burger King.
Accepted a lift. Man, don't go with riding. It's not even that much of a stranger. It seems like they kind of knew him. And I think I heard that before, that, you know, you're most likely gonna get abducted or whatever by people that you actually know or kind of familiar with. So that's freaking terrifying. Take the bus or something like that.
Initially, her disappearance was treated as a runaway. Castro's third and youngest victim was 14-year-old Georgina De Jesus.
14-year-old.
He picked her up on April the 2nd, 2004, as she walked home from school. Georgina knew him, as she was friends with his daughter.
Don't get in the car with people you know and or people you don't know, it seems. Like, that's crazy. Take the bus or buy your own car or bike or something. There is no trust. There is no trust anymore.
During the time Castro kept the girls imprisoned, he still held down his job as a school bus driver until...
School bus driver. He was a school bus driver. Yeah, I'm gonna be skipping over a lot of the stuff he's done. Like, my goodness.
Until he was fired in 2012. After 10 long years, it was a man...
Oh yeah, I remember this! I freaking remember this! Okay, so this was what I was thinking of. I remember this guy. Yeah, this is 5 years ago or something. I remember this happened.
That was finally able to make contact with a neighbor after she realized Castro had left the door unlocked. As part of the plea bargain, Castro's house was demolished on August the 7th, 2013, watched by family and friends of the girls. But chillingly, the ominous blur on Google Maps is still a reminder of the horrors those poor girls had to endure there.
That one was freaking crazy. Like, the guy is horrible, and I'm gonna skip over a lot of what he did because it's, you know, it's not for the faint of heart, if that's the right word.
Israel Keyes' truck. Now this next image, caught on Google Street View in 2011, may look innocent enough. After all, it's just a truck parked on a street. That is until you look at the name on the trailer, Keyes Construction, and realise this truck and trailer belong to Israel Keyes, a notorious serial killer in and around Alaska. Keyes was born in Utah in 1978.
If you think of it though, like the Google streetcars or whatever go everywhere, right? I assume a large amount of the people or cars or whatever that are caught in the Google Street View belong to people who have done horrible things and whatnot, right? It's just because it captures, like, you know, everything around whatever city you live in or anything like that. And, you know, crimes happen all the time in cities. That's probably one of thousands of cars that belong to horrible people, if that makes sense, right?
And although he was brought up in a Mormon family, he showed no interest in religion. And when his family moved to Washington, he became friends with a man who went on to murder 3 people.
Well, you know what they say, birds of a feather flock together.
Keyes later served in the US Army from 1998 through 2011. After he was discharged from the Army, he did odd jobs for a few years before setting up a construction business in 2007 called Keyes Construction. Keyes planned his murders sometimes years in advance.
My goodness, this guy's freaking psycho.
Keyes was finally caught after he kidnapped 18-year-old Samantha Koenig, a barista working in Anchorage, Alaska.
Half of this video I'm going to be taking out, it seems, just because of how, like, these people are all insane. And they do some horrible things that I don't want you guys knowing what they've done.
He was eventually arrested in Texas and extradited to Alaska. What is chilling is just...
Oh my goodness.
What was hiding in his truck on the day Google Maps caught the image.
Alright, so I didn't catch it before, but yeah, it looks like the girl's actually in the truck. That in Google Images caught that. That's crazy.
UVB76. Now we've talked about the buzzer on Top 5s before. The mysterious Russian radio signal, also known as UVB76, that has been broadcasting since the late 1970s, with the earliest known recording in 1982. The signal, which broadcasts on 4625 kHz, has baffled people for years, with many questioning its purpose and
is this the one that just spouts out random numbers or whatever?
The meaning of the messages that can be heard. It mainly emits a short monotone buzz 25 times a minute, all day, every day.
Oh.
However, every few years, the buzz stops and a Russian voice can be heard, reading out a mixture of numbers and names. Initially, the broadcast was thought to be a recording, playing continuously on loop, but this was dismissed, and it was revealed the buzzer noise is manually generated, as often you can hear activity in the
manually generated? So someone's been there doing it for years and years?
Background, suggesting it had a base. The question was, where was it? Efforts to locate where this signal was coming from led to a Russian military base on the outskirts of Povravo, a small town 19 miles north of Moscow.
Military base. If it's from a military base, that actually explains a lot more.
It can clearly be seen on Google Maps. But when the signal changed in October 2010, it was realised that the station had changed locations. The move was followed by a flurry of activity and voice messages. After the station changed location, urban explorers were keen to get into the old base and managed to bypass the guard dog and infiltrate the abandoned bunker and military buildings, where...
So the sound was coming from military base. That actually makes a lot more sense than if it was just some random person doing it. And I don't know why that bit just makes more sense, but like it just seems more logical that it would be the military doing something like that than just some random person. I don't know why, but to me that just seems that way.
For over 30 years, the buzz had been transmitting from. They found out from a local farmer that a fierce storm in 2010 had forced the military outpost to be evacuated, which explains the change of location. They described the place as quiet and lonely. They also found a book that contained a log of messages sent by UVB-76, providing physical proof that they were in the right place. But the mystery is far from being solved.
Yeah, like what were they doing and who were they trying to message?
The buzz and sporadic voice messages can still be picked up, and legions of listeners tune in via radios and online streams every day, and all attempts to ascertain its new location have so far proved fruitless, as unlike before, it seems that UVB-76 is now emanating from multiple transmitters across Russia.
Oh, they've learned. They've learned!
There are lots of theories on what the purpose of the radio station is, with the most popular being that it is the audible version of Russia's Dead Man Switch system, an automatic nuclear weapons control system operated in the Cold War that can automatically trigger the launch of Russian intercontinental ballistic missiles in the event that a nuclear strike is detected.
I wouldn't put it past, that's actually quite believable.
The buzz is more likely to be a channel marker used to discourage others from using the same frequency.
That would also make sense.
So the Russian military can communicate through coded messages to multiple units at the same time. But still, no one really knows.
Well, if it was used to communicate to multiple people or units at the same time, don't you think people would know by now? Because it's been doing this for so many years. You think someone, because people are listening all the time now, right? Because there's so much interest around it that if there is like going to be special codes sent between people or whatever, people would catch on to it. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. I'm gonna take out a lot from this because, oh my goodness, the first like 4 are legit really disturbing, and I'm gonna take out a lot of what the people did because they're freaking monsters. But that last one there is really interesting, and it's still weird. And yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, possibly share with a friend. If you're new, subscribe to the family. Also, make sure you guys go subscribe to Top 5s. That link's in the description. I'll see you guys next time. Boop!